Hey guys! I hope that you guys are doing amazing wherever you are in the world. My name is Shikha and I welcome you to my channel. I'm so grateful that you guys are watching, subscribing, and commenting on my channel. I really appreciate the support. In this video, I want to speak to you guys about how INFJs like to work on their own. They're very much an individual when it comes to working on their projects by themselves or reading books on their own or working on their hobbies on their own, whatever it might be. We're very much an individualistic person when it comes to doing our thing, whatever it might be, as I said, right? For example, as if you might know, you might or might not know, I am a writer, and so I spend a lot of my days, especially the early mornings, sitting and writing my novels. I write science fiction novels mostly. And so I get up in the morning, I do my morning routine, have breakfast, whatever. And then I sit down and I have to, and I say have to because it's mandatory. I cannot leave, or I can't go to bed without doing this specific thing in regards to my writing. And no matter where I'm in the world, no matter what I'm doing, if I'm traveling or not, I make sure that I write 1,000 words of my novel every single day. Every single day I get up and I do this. And if I didn't have time in the morning to do it because I had something else to do, I'll do it in the afternoon or I'll do it before I go to sleep. As I said, I cannot go to sleep. It is absolutely paramount for me to write these words before I go to sleep, right? Every single day. And so I do these, I write these words every single day, sitting in my room, exactly where you see me sitting right now. This is my desk, and this is where my spot is, my new spot. As you might imagine, I moved from the other condo I was in to a different condo in the same area in Chiang Mai. And so I sit at my desk and I write, right? Now, because I know that I'm an introvert and I need to meet people, I'm forcing myself to join a bunch of different groups. And so I've joined a couple of groups, one of them being a writing group. And these are writers like me, writing different things, not necessarily novels, but screenplays, books, blogs, obviously. And so they're writing all these interesting different things, and I decided it would be a good idea for me to join them. And thankfully, they were happy for me to join them. It's an invite-only group, so that was really kind of them to let me join. And so they meet up once a week to discuss their projects and to have a conversation about writing, just to kind of get some sort of support network going, because writing is such a solitary endeavor, and sometimes it can feel a little bit lonely, which is a great idea. I haven't gone to any of the meetings yet because I've been moving and things like that, but I'm excited to go in the future. But occasionally there's a Facebook group, and occasionally a person will be like, or almost every single day, people are like, oh, I'm going to this cafe today to write if anyone wants to join me. And every single time these messages pop up on my feed or on my browser, I look at it and I think to myself, I am writing right now, but I'm writing in my room. And it's so funny, it's almost coincidentally true, where they'll be messaging me saying, oh, I'm at this cafe if anyone wants to join me to write, and I'll be sitting here writing my novel or whatever it might be, or finishing writing or starting to write it. And I'll always think to myself, as an introvert or as an INFJ, I wonder to myself, what is this desire people have to do things with other people? I don't understand it, actually. I'm so confused by it, and I'm still like, I'm looking at these people, obviously, right? And I understand a lot of them are actually extroverts, so they need people around them in order to do their work. And it's actually like kind of like a motivation, because sometimes if you're by yourself, you're like, oh, I'll just do it later, and then you never do it. I've developed a routine good enough that I can actually get it done every single day without needing external motivation. But perhaps these people still need external motivation, or it's just nicer to sit around with someone else and write. Because it's not like you're sitting down and having a conversation, perhaps. You're just sitting down and writing on your own laptops with someone else around you. Which is why I don't understand the whole point of it. Why would you need other people around you when you're doing something you can do by yourself in your room? Now, some people don't like being in their apartments. They like being outside. They're social creatures, etc. But this is not just to do with writing. In general, I find that INFJs are more content or comfortable with doing things on their own. I am absolutely comfortable traveling on my own. And when I was younger, I'd go on all these trips on my own, and people would always be saying, oh, you're so brave, you're going on your own. I could never travel on my own. I need people to travel with. But then these exact people would also be complaining that they can never find anyone to travel with. And so they would never end up going anywhere because they're waiting for someone to travel with, but they are never able to find someone to travel with. And I'm thinking to myself, instead of waiting for someone, why don't you just go out, travel on your own? It's not that hard, and you're going to meet hundreds of people on the way anyways. And so it's never going to be lonely if you really want it to be, if you want to be social, just stay at a hostel and you'll meet so many people that you're going to want your alone space after. But it didn't make any sense to me that I did not need anyone to travel with. Now, I travel with other people now. I travel with my family. I travel with my sister, friends. But it's not necessary that they are there with me in order for me to travel. I like it. It's nice to have company. But I prefer, sometimes I prefer actually being on my own because I can, as I said, make my own decisions, do what I want, spend all my time eating, which is basically what I do when traveling. While I'm traveling, I just want to eat. I want to travel and try all these amazing different foods. I want to walk around everywhere. I want to look at different markets and different spots in the city, and then I want to eat like a crazy person. That's basically the essence of my travel. And people watching, yes, of course, a lot of people watching. And so again, I don't understand why people want or need other people to travel with, right? It's nice, I guess, but mostly if you don't have that opportunity, I'm absolutely fine going traveling on my own. The same thing with going for long walks. I go for long walks in the city by myself. And there are always people asking me, aren't you bored by yourself? And I think to myself, no, I'm not. There's a billion things to think about, a billion things to look at. How can you get bored of that, right? The same thing applies to everything that I do in my life. Walking to school by myself or being in classes by myself. I had very few friends when I was in university. And so a lot of times I'd be in classes by myself. I'd go to class by myself. I'd sit in the class by myself. A lot of group projects, it was a really difficult thing for me because it was hard for me to find someone that wanted to partner up with me because I didn't know that many people. But it wasn't that I was doing it because I was compelled to do it or I was forced to be by myself. It was just that I was more comfortable. I could go in whenever I wanted. I could go out whenever I wanted. If I didn't want to go to a class, I could skip it. I didn't have anyone kind of holding me back in a way, if you want to say it like that. The same thing, even when we're in relationships, I think we end up doing a lot of things by ourselves. Going to yoga classes by ourselves or cooking by ourselves or things like that. Because as an introvert, as an INFJ, our main modality, the main way that we deal with the world is through solitude, is by being solitary. It's the way that we move through the world. It is a more comfortable stance for us. It is actually the most comfortable stance for us to be in the world is to be by ourselves, right? The more time I spend by myself, the more I realize how comfortable I am being on my own. And this is a question that gets asked to me by many people all the time. They're like, aren't you bored being by yourself? Or aren't you afraid that you can be alone when you're older? Or don't you want to get married so you can have someone around you all the time? And I think to myself, no, no. And I say the same thing over and over again to people is that perhaps you're not used to being alone because you've always spent time with people, perhaps your family and then your boyfriends or your husband. But for me, being solitary is actually a way of life. It's actually the primary way of life. The primary way I deal with life is being on my own. And therefore, for me, being on my own is actually more comfortable than being around people, right? And so even with like little things like being part of a group and people saying, oh, let's do this together, let's do that together. A lot of it, I would think to myself, if I can do it by myself, I would rather do it by myself. Now, I'm not saying that I do everything on my own. As much as possible, I do a lot of things on my own, also because I am alone here by myself. I'm not traveling with friends or family. The reason I'm here in Chiang Mai is to get my work done. And so I spend a lot of my time in my room working. But a lot of people I notice on the groups that I'm part of, they want to do things together. They'll be like, oh, I'm going shopping today. Do you want to go with me? Or I'm working today. Do you want to work in a cafe together? Or as I said, I'm writing today. Do you want to write with me? And a lot of these activities are, in my opinion, I've always thought of them as solitary activities. Writing is a solitary activity to me. It's very confusing and distracting to me when I'm writing and there's someone around me. I feel censored somehow. Even though that person's not looking at my screen or they're not looking at what I'm doing, I feel uncomfortable. I feel like they're judging me or they're looking at my work, and I feel uncomfortable. I don't like it. And so whenever I do my writing, I like to be on my own, in my own bubble, writing without any kind of censorship coming from the outside in, even though it's fake censorship. It's not like they're actually judging me, right? Hopefully. But even working on my stuff, a lot of times people are like, let's do co-working. Co-working is one of those big phrases nowadays in the digital nomad community, where everyone wants to sit together and work because it's the sort of motivation and you can discuss ideas and perhaps bounce ideas off of each other. But again, for me, the thought of sitting down and working next to someone sounds so distracting because they're gonna be talking about stuff. And once when I get focused and when I'm doing my work, I'm really focused. So much so I can't hear any of the noises around me. I don't want to be distracted. I want to get shit done so that I can go and read my manga after. That's basically the essence of it. Oh shit. So I want to get my work done quicker so I can go do the things that I want to do in terms of reading mangas, going for walks, eating a lot of food and things like that, right? I don't want to be sitting around all day long working on my stuff because I'm distracted and I'm not doing it properly, right? And that's what happens to me if I do end up in these co-working situations, is that I'll sit there and I'll get distracted over and over and over again and then not get anything done. Only thing I got done is probably having conversations with people, and it's just, I guess, a nice thing. Maybe I'm making friends. But then I have to go home and then finish my work because I didn't get anything real done while I was sitting around with people. So I'd rather get all my work done and then go out to these events and then pretend like I'm working and then have conversations with people, because that's usually what it ends up being, is conversations rather than work. And so I wanted to do this video to kind of maybe vent a little bit, but also maybe explain a little bit of why, if you are with an INFJ, why they probably end up doing a lot of things on their own, because it's just the default mode for them. That's how they live in the world. That is the default. That's what we think. We never think, oh, I could do this with someone else. Even when I go out to a restaurant, it's never my first thought that, oh, maybe I should invite someone. My first thought is always, oh, I'm excited about this food. I want to go eat it. I'm going to go eat it. Oh, God. Anyways, so I'd love to hear from you guys. What do you guys think about this video topic? Do you think that that's true for you as well? Is your default mode to spend all of your time by yourself, or is it to spend time with other people? If you guys have any questions about this video or any other videos I've done, please let me know in the comments below, or you can message me by emailing me. My email address is in the description below. Again, thank you for watching, and I shall see you guys in the next video. Bye for now.